Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. This is your friend Ursie, and the days are flying because it's already February of 2023. Before I begin my free little mini reading for Karen in Eden, I wanted to have you look at this beautiful geometry. It's a painting I created 2016 or 17, but I want to show you something amazing. You can see this light over here. It's coming from a window, but look what the window is doing. I didn't set this up. It happened to come naturally. And so I just look at it as, my goodness, the veil is thinning more so. Are your dreams getting even more intense? Are the synchronicities, like if you find yourself in joy, is more joy coming towards you? If you're in confusion, does more confusion come towards you? It's almost like we get to see what we magnetize comes towards us now. So I don't know what it means to magnetize this. Like, it's right in the center of this painting. It's remarkable. And yes, in the center, I did paint a vesica in this yellow gold, and I have striations coming out. And I love the blue shape. This is, for me, what feels like an Atlantean Merkaba, but it's sitting within the bigger shape of two pentagons abutted. And then around the edges, it forms a hexagon. So it's a pentahexa with this light emanating right now. Let's see, it's about 4:30 in February. I'll just keep this little light bulb on top of my head. Today, I wanted to say thank you. We have made it to our first year anniversary on the Ascension Playground. It's been a year. So, from my heart to yours, I decided to randomly select someone to receive a free mini reading. So, without further ado, let me get my screen together. Here it is, it's coming. And don't need this. Here we go. So, if this is your first time dropping in, I wanted to show you the Galactic astrochart.com. It's a free report that you can do with your natal information, and it delivers where in the cosmos your soul has journeyed. So for Karen in Eden, look at this. Look at this. I'm starting at the basic report. Let me see if I can get a little. I think I learned how to do the spotlight. Here we go. So I chose basic report. See the little red ball? And this gives the primary constellations. So if you put in your own information, hit basic report, and you'll get this, and you'll wonder, what does all this mean? These are the soul connections that you've had to specific constellations where you've either merged your energy through what's called a conjunction, or you've created some oppositional energy called an opposition that needs a little integration in this current lifetime. So let's look at Karen's chart. First of all, we see Piscis Austrinus. This is in the south. There's a soul connection to her beautiful moon in Pisces. Okay, so how does the galactic, constellation influence her beautiful Piscean moon? Now, I'm just going to give away and do a spoiler here. Piscis Austrinus is the constellation, and within that constellation, there's a beautiful fixed royal star. The royal star's name is Fomalhaut. So, this is a mark for someone who may have embraced the star's energy. That is a marker for someone who may have had a lifetime with Jesus the Christ. So it's interesting because Jesus is in the advent of the Piscean era, right? He was the fisher of men. teaching men how to teach others how to fish. So it's interesting, right? That your Pisces moon and Piscis, which means fish, Austrinus is not the same as Pisces, the constellation. This is the southernmost fish in the heavens, as we can see from Earth. So it's supposed to be this fish, the constellation, is the mother of the two little fish known as Pisces, the two fish swimming in opposite directions that we know as the zodiacal sign of Pisces. So, very interesting, right? So, we'll have a look at your moon. The next thing we could notice is look how Virgo and Boots, these are two separate constellations where I'm looking at patterns, how Virgo and Boots show up with your Venus in Aries, your Libra, your Saturn in Libra, and then a Neptune in Libra. So the balancing scales. Virgo is carrying the beautiful star, which his name is Spica. And Spica, if you haven't seen on my current playlists, is noted as perhaps the fifth royal star. The other four carry what we might call masculine energy, or male oriented energy. Virgo, there are very few females up in the heavens. Virgo constellation actually has wings. So the beautiful constellation of Virgo, the Virgin, is offering a gift through the beautiful fixed star Spica. So there may be some powerful gift connected with your beautiful Aries Venus. So it's interesting, right? How Aries and Venus are like the masculine, feminine, almost polar opposites. Of course, I can't help but think of Sandro Botticelli's amazing painting back in the Renaissance of Venus and Mars. The only way that the warrior could stop fighting was to allow himself, as a metaphor, to be soothed by the feminine, the nurturer, the one who cautions him or soothes him so that he doesn't just go running off killing. So interesting that you have an Aries Venus, and the Virgin constellation is bringing you a gift. Now, Boots constellation carries a gorgeous star named Arcturus. When you think of Arcturus, many of us may have heard the word Arcturian star seed, and that has a beautiful connection, of course, to those who like to listen to Kryon.com, Kryon, not to be confused with Chiron. So, Kryon is an entity carrying this beautiful Arcturian energy. So, back to your chart, your basic chart, Virgo and Boots connecting in with this Venus in Aries. So Arcturus as this beautiful star is a mark, according to Bernadette Brady, astrologer, of the pathfinder, the one who was thrown out of the tribe, who was pushed away for no fault of their own, and forced to find a way, a new path that will help the collective. Okay, so he was Arcturus, or let's just say the constellation Boots as a metaphor, was with his brother and the tribe, and they would go and hunt. But when the father died, the brother wanted to keep the land, and so threw the younger brother out. And so, because you don't have a group to hunt with, this beautiful constellation of Boots had to find a new path. And so when we see and know the story of the constellation, that energy of the story, the archetypal energy, follows not only in the constellation, but also into the star. So, what did this brother do that couldn't hunt anymore? How do you survive? If you look at the constellation itself, it's usually a male carrying a scythe. So, moving from the hunters into now the gatherers, learning how to farm. That's a marker of the pathfinder. So interesting. I'm wondering if in Venus and Aries, if there was a new path towards loving, the gift of the goddess of Spica. Did these two, Arcturus and Spica, work together through your beautiful Venus, your personal way of showing up with what you love in relationship, in your finances, in your joy? So Venus is also the marker for the artist and aesthetics and music too. All right, so we see Virgo and Boots, the constellations showing up with Saturn in Libra and Neptune in Libra. I'm just being guided to remark that Neptune in Libra with Virgo and Boots, take that whole story I said about Venus. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. It's an outer planet. So it's considered the higher octave of love. So whereas Venus is more personal love, Neptune, carrying this beautiful balanced energy of Libra with Virgo and Boots, the beautiful stars Spica and Arcturus. Let's take it up to that higher octave of cosmic love. I would even say the Christ love. It's beyond the hundreds of Jesuses that we know on earth, all the stories. This goes to the higher love, the Christ, the cosmic Christ love. Fascinating. And let's see if there's one last thing. Yes, you have Lyra and you have galactic connections and to Hyades as well, Canis Major. All right, but let's learn a little more. So I'm going to take my cursor and see this box where it says Extended Report Star Systems. After you've placed all your information in, make sure that these two boxes are checked. Show degrees, show trines, sextile squares. You click on it. Takes a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so Karen of Eden, look at this rainbow assortment of your personal soul connections on a cosmic soul level. Look at this. So how to hold this? We look at it and I just see rainbows, rainbows of color. I'm searching for patterns. I'm noticing, look at how Orion is showing up. Orion with sextiling your sun, trining your ascendant, squaring your Mercury, and sextiling your Venus. This is just on the first page. There's more below. But Orion, when I see this, the constellation of the great hunter, so when we see this energy, yes, it is the great hunter, and each of the stars, fixed stars, carries a story. But for the broad brushstroke of this type of Orion, for me, it's a marker for someone who has agreed on a soul level to go and play with polarity and duality, where the lightest of light, the greatest of light, meets the darkest of dark, and they come together. Sometimes you could say they battle, they trade places. So whether you were on the dark or the light, it was all about your soul expanding through these wonderful soul connections on Orion. Now, let's go see your most recent lifetime. How do we find your most recent lifetime? Well, if you take Julia Balaz's Galactic Astrology 101 course, Julia has just authorized some of her affiliates to offer a 10% discount code. I'm just going to say, I'm not sure how long she's going to offer the coupon, but if you're listening and you've always thought, maybe I should think about one of her classes, either Galactic Astrology 101, which is you learning online how to read your own chart and other family members' charts. But if you take that next big step into the Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioners course, there's also a coupon code for that. So again, it's limited time. I'm not sure how many coupons she's handing out, but if you're interested, do email me and the information will be below to say, hey, I'm interested in the coupon code. My email is theascensionplayground@gmail.com. But let's get back to this chart. It brings me so much joy. I think I can just look at charts all day. Something about the vibration, the color, and it's almost like a little puzzle. Even though I don't like puzzles per se, I'm a big Scrabble lover. So I love looking for, okay, if we put it this way or that way. Okay, so right away, that moon, your beautiful moon in Pisces, 1 degree, 15 minutes. What's a baby Pisces moon? So maybe this is the beginning of learning some of that Piscean emotional intelligence. What do I mean by that? Um, Pisces is the great ocean of the 12th sign of the zodiac. So, collecting all those experiences around the zodiacal wheel. So, a moon in Pisces would feel things, just tune in, be able to perhaps bring in downloads or feel the temperature of the collective. You could walk into a room and just know if someone was upset, know if joy was there, know if it was safe or not. So, a Pisces moon, first house, that is so tied to your identity. And here you've got the mother of Pisces, Piscis Austrinus, conjunct Fomalhaut, that beautiful royal star of heaven, carrying the archangel energy of Gabriel. Beautiful Gabriel, the divine messenger. So when I see a conjunction to Fomalhaut and recognize that this is your most recent lifetime, I would say, the energy in your field carries the potential to bring forward divine messages when you allow it, to coordinate and invite in Archangel Gabriel to help bring forward messages of goodwill. It's part of who you are. And with a trine right next to your beautiful moon, the trine to the Shapley attractor, it's a galactic PowerPoint. It's it's trining by only 28 minutes to your Pisces moon. So if you take your Pisces moon with Fomalhaut and then you go and bring in the Shapley attractor, my goodness, talk about a powerhouse for really identifying as one who is very strong on emotional intelligence, someone who has a very broad bandwidth of emotions, not just everything's light and bright, but this idea of I have felt things, the darkest of dark to the lightest of light. And so, wow, wow. I'm also being guided to share with you, Karen and Eden, that this conjunction to Fomalhaut, it's almost as if you could personify and be an embodiment of that beautiful royal star. Again, a divine messenger of some sort. So it doesn't necessarily, the messages don't necessarily need to come from the mouth. It could come from the aura field. It can come from the healing work that I saw that you do. It could come from other ways that one might communicate. Painting, sculpture, but a Pisces moon in the first house with that powerful Shapley attractor. If anyone decides to join the Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioners certification course, that's a mouthful. You don't have to be a practitioner. However, um, you will go so much deeper and you'll learn so much more about these powerful points. And there's a family of us. I think we're about 260 plus strong on a private Facebook group. So if you feel like you haven't met your family, your soul family yet, really consider that practitioner's course. All right, so now I'm going to scroll down, look at all these connections. This is huge. How to find the star of origin. So here's how this cosmic storybook unfolds. When we look for an origin star, this helps because it's really pointing to the subconscious, that origin star. And as we know in the work of Carl Jung, so many of our decisions are made through our subconscious. It's that young child, age 0 through 7, who, when we're on automatic pilot, is making our decisions. choosing this or that. So let's go find out how the origin star may be helping your inner child. All right, so what we do is we look at your Pluto line first. It's the furthest most planet, or even a dwarf planet, out from our solar system. And I'm looking for either a conjunction or an opposition. I see a sextile, a sextile, a sextile, a sextile, and a square. So when you don't find an opposition or conjunction on your Pluto line for your origin star story, you then go up to the Neptune line. And well, wouldn't you know it? Here we go. We see Virgo conjunct, well, there's Spica is conjunct your Neptune in the eighth house by 36 minutes. And you have a secondary conjunction in the constellation Boots with Arcturus by 1 degree. So the way this game works is you choose the one that is closest in orb. So we would then say this 36-minute is closer than the 1 degree. So we would say your origin star story is in Virgo constellation on the beautiful fixed star Spica, who we're calling the fifth royal star. Isn't it interesting? The mark of the feminine with the 5 and Virgo being the divine, basically virgin constellation. There aren't, again, too many females up in the heavens. So I love this way of looking. You have the 36. 3-6 equals a 9. So you can say it's a 3-6-9 vibration of Spica conjunct the Neptune. Remember, we were talking earlier about how Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So this is big, high heart. But this is a Neptune that's held in Libra. And wouldn't you know, look at that 22 degrees of Libra. 22 is the mark for a master builder. Okay, so divine cosmic love, Neptune, Libra, balance, master builder. You chose to put your Neptune in the very amazing, intense house 8, the 8th house of deep, deep, deep transformation. Fantastic. So, conjunct Spica. I was reading, and I may have already said this, but I'm going to say it again. What's coming through is when you see a conjunction to Spica, this is for anybody. This is the idea, the embodiment of the gift itself. So you have to ask yourself maybe 2 questions. What gift has the goddess given me at birth to help support the collective? All right. And I'll know the gift because you probably had to do a death and rebirth, resurrection in some way, 8th house, through this higher cosmic love. Pretty powerful stuff here. So the first question, yeah. What gift did the goddess give you? Second question, how have you embodied that gift, especially at the beautiful age that you are now, this chapter of life, the call for the divine feminine leader? So, my goodness. And look how much is on your Neptune line: a conjunction to Spica, a conjunction to Arcturus, trines through Orion, trines to Auriga, Capella, the mark of plenty, of abundance, the she goat that nursed Jupiter, Zeus, a square to Procyon, and a square to Sulafat. I would just say, Karen in Eden, the square to Procyon in Canis Minor may say that you may need to look at, is there any message? Because Procyon is within the little dog that likes to give messages. It's more the announcer. What message might you not have shared yet that talks about your deep, deep, deep transformative journey into the underworld, into the darkest of places. Remember, you are here with the full range of emotional intelligence. Neptune, cosmic love, guides you. But when I see a square to Procyon with Canis Minor to your Neptune, is there something that hasn't found its voice yet? When you give voice to it, and it's something like this: it's coming, it's coming. What message are you here to share with the collective that's coming? You know, so you may have already said it. If you have, the square dissolves and it balances out. But if you have been playing small or unsure or taken your light and put it under the bushel, like I have for so many years, there is some message that wants to come through you. Boy, this went a lot further. Let me stop sharing here. You can tell. Let's see where the light is. Oh, look at that. See? The light has shifted. Isn't that interesting to do a little mini reading to begin with that shaft of light? And oh my gosh, so this shape is the Vesica. We've been talking about Virgo, the divine feminine. This shape, the Mandorla or Vesica, doesn't it sound like Piscis Austrinus in a certain way, is the shape that the Christ is shown traveling through. All right. So all form, all platonic solids, all of life moves through this shape to be born. That is the transformative, it's the stargate, it's the window into other realms. Oh, now I'm getting little chills. Wow, I had no idea this would come up in this reading, but it certainly is dovetailing quite nicely with, when you say, yes, let's just play, let's see what wants to come through. I get so joyful looking at charts. But again, the center of this is a Swarovski little crystal, and I have put some other key points. But for Karen and Eden, here's what seems to want to come through. Trust this beautiful divine feminine messaging that wants to come through you, that is beyond this realm, that does tap into the galactic, because we are becoming more aware of our galactic consciousness as we especially start seeing images coming back from the James Webb Telescope. So what has always been there is being made manifest. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed this in celebration of our 1 year birthday on the Ascension Playground. And if there are 3 other people who want to email me at theascensionplayground@gmail.com and are willing to share 3 of your favorite videos of this channel in your social group, then email me and I'll see what I can do. I'm being very flowy, like I'm staying in the flow. I paint in the morning. I try and do readings, private sessions, which I love doing. I'm also teaching myself more things about the galactic, and offering these free mini readings on the playground just feels right. Anyway, thank you, everybody. It's been wonderful to spend this time with you. And I'm looking forward to the next time we get to hang out together. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now.